Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Marlon Simpson, a licensed clinical psychologist specializing in health and neuropsychology. I deal with a wide range of persons from infants all the way up to seniors in the field. I have been in this field for about 17 years now.
All right, Dr. Simpson. So we're going to be talking about autism today. Can you tell me what is autism, please?
All right, so autism spectrum disorder is a spectrum. So there are a range of symptoms that an individual has. Primarily, it deals with or it speaks to children or adults who have communication or social challenges. There are problems with interacting with other children or adults. There are problems with functioning in knowing boundaries, understanding how to behave in public, amongst many other things. But it's a spectrum from mild all the way up to profound.
All right, and how do we determine if a child is autistic?
All right, so usually the child would have to be tested by either a pediatrician or a psychologist who specializes in the area and would know what to look for and how to diagnose.
All right, so once it's detected, after the child has been tested, how do we as parents go about dealing with an autistic child?
All right, so because there are different levels, it ranges. So a child who is on level one needs a little bit of assistance. Maybe there are sensory challenges. So it's being informed, it's doing reading and reading from sources that are credible, and also talking to your doctor as well, finding out what exactly is happening and how to help the child.
Okay,
Really.
and how common is autism in Jamaica?
Autism is not that common, but we'd say about 20% of children are born with autism in the country. So it's quite a few, but still.
And all right, so saying that is not common, how do we, the public, overcome that stigma associated with autism?
All right. So again, nothing beats education. It's allowing yourself to understand, to read, to be informed, understand or be more in tune with your child as well or relative, and seek to try to be there with your child. Because if it doesn't happen that way, then it leads to further discrimination and lack of understanding.
Okay. And does the ministry provide any form of help with children living with autism?
So the government, depending on what's happening with the child, the government can, through a recommendation, a set of recommendations or an assessment, be allowed to provide shadows for children with autism spectrum disorder. There are also social learning programs that they can garner, as well as other forms of intervention for children with autism.
Okay. And how can we, the public, help to contribute to the necessary help that is needed to provide an environment for kids that are living with autism?
All right. So one of the most important things is that parents are oftentimes looking for that kind of support, that kind of understanding. So if you or you know somebody who has a child with autism, try to support them as much as possible, guiding them, encouraging them, just listening to them mostly as well, providing that amount of care and support.
Okay. All right. So I know that there is the Jamaica Autism Academy in the works. Can you tell me a little bit about that, please?
All right, so it's geared at providing educational assistance for children who, of course, are diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder or children who appear to have symptoms of autism spectrum disorder. And so they provide a lot of care and support, educational support and otherwise for children with this disorder.
All right. So how can parents that have children living with autism get in touch with the Jamaica Autism Academy?
All right, I'm not sure about the phone number.
Okay. Well, I guess because it's not completed yet,
Yeah,
then you're not sure about that aspect of it.
right, right.
Okay. All right. So what help is needed to get the academy started, and how can we, the public, contribute towards that?
All right, so the academy needs a lot of support in terms of finding a location, We already have a lot of the staff members in place. So it's about spreading the word. It's about encouraging parents to check out what it's about, how we work in terms of helping children. So it's teachers, it's psychologists, a number of other professionals working together to support children, not only academically, but socially as well with autism spectrum.
Okay. Um, April is being celebrated or recognized as Autism Month. Can you tell me some of the happenings for the month of April that will be supporting autism?
Right. So we'll have several lectures, um, meetings and seminars about autism spectrum disorder, what it is, what it's not, and how to differentiate what's happening with our children as well. Um, Hopefully there'll be more assessments done to help to determine if a child has autism and proper ways to help our children manage or navigate this challenging area.
All right, so there's also the walk that is coming up on April 6th at Emancipation Park, geared towards funding for the Jamaica Autism Academy. Can you
Right.
tell me a little bit about that?
All right, so that's definitely to help with putting things in place to get a space to further develop the services that we have already. And overall, everything is geared towards helping children and to help them to become better versions of themselves. So definitely that walkathon is one of the areas that we're looking into to help to supplement what it is that we're trying to do with children at the academy.
Okay, so how can we, the public, be a part of the walk? And is there any contribution that we can give? And how do we contribute?
All right, so you can talk to Mrs. Celia Allen, who will help in terms of getting in contributions. Can feel free to get in touch with her to make donations, but also to also come to the walkathon and to share in that time because there'll be a lot of information, a lot of things that we'll be doing to help in terms of education and showing what autism is all about.
Okay. All right. So, is the Ministry of Education, are they providing any help for the Jamaica Autism Academy? And do you think that they can do more to assist the academy?
I think that the government is doing quite a lot in terms of helping us to get started, to get up and running. But like everything else, there's always room for improvement. So we will never ever turn away support from the government. I mean, we have to get all documents passed through them. And so them supporting us is a major part of it. And they're
Okay.
helping us to get to where we need to be.
All right. And can you explain why is it that it's a little bit more difficult for kids with autism to perform well in a regular school?
All right. So children who are on the spectrum, autism spectrum, tend to have varying needs. So some may be overstimulated by certain sounds or light or textures. And so if all students are being exposed to the same thing and they're not managing, makes it very difficult for them to sit and to engage what the teacher is saying because they're going to be distracted. And so creating an environment for children with autism spectrum and varying needs is very, very important.
So this is why I guess it would be beneficial then for the academy where you will have the necessary help for them to get the help that they need,
Right,
basically.
right.
Okay. All right. So what advice would you give to parents out there that have kids that are living with autism and dealing with the challenges that come with it?
All right, so definitely children who are on the spectrum need a lot of encouragement. They need to be understood as well. A lot of times, children who are on the spectrum tend to behave or act from an instinct perspective. So they're reacting to different things. So parents have to understand that they're not neurotypical or neurodevelopmentally average children. There are some divergences in terms of how they're growing up, how they're behaving, and so parents have to be more in tune with what their child is going through or experiencing, and then they'll know how to provide for them, look after them, and overall to give them the best chance at doing well in terms of life. Overall.
So basically, you're saying you have to be more patient with their children. So what about a parent that might not have realized that their child is on the spectrum? What advice would you give to that parent?
All right, so parents who are unsure or didn't know or don't know their child is on the spectrum, again, it's asking questions. Ask your child questions. So how are you feeling today? How are you doing? Does anything make you uncomfortable? Tackle the five senses, things that you see, smell, hear, taste, or feel that make you uncomfortable. Look at their social interactions, and then support the child as possible. But then overall, I would say make your child assess if you suspect that there may be some delay or challenges in terms of development that may be of more concern. So don't be afraid to get more information, because the sooner you know what's happening, the better you are in terms of helping your child develop the best of your ability.
And the final question is, so would you be a doctor or you have a specific doctor to get that, to check to see if your child is on the spectrum?
All right, so usually pediatricians, regular doctors, as well as clinical psychologists, psychiatrists, preferably child psychiatrists, those of us in psychology, there are quite a few of us specializing in identifying and treating children with autism spectrum. But outside of that, self-diagnosis, diagnosis by teachers, definitely recommend always the professional to get the right diagnosis if there's one.
And then take it from there.
And take it from there.
All right, thank you so much.
All right,